everyone. Welcome to the today's session, and where we have the topper from the recently conducted INI-CET May 24 exam, and we have with us Dr. Ayush Gupta, who has secured an amazing All India rank of 61. And the best part is he has done it in the first attempt itself, having finished his internship on 31st of March, and in May he has got a rank 61, and which I believe is very, very commendable. Heartiest congratulations, Ayush, on that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
I mean, it's a pleasure to have you here, and we are super proud of you. The entire PrepLadder family is super proud of you, right? So that you've made your dream come true. So all of us here, the viewers, would like to know that, what is that superpower strategy that you have used that helped you get this great rank in the first attempt itself? So, Ayush, over to you. And a few questions that I would like to ask is, first question, because that is the first thing that clicked me to ask is, because you have cracked this exam along with internship, how did you manage internship and studies both?
For the exam, I have started from the very first year of the college, but dedicated study to the interns, started in the internship, ma'am, for the PG oriented. And ma'am, I have made my notes from the very first year, second year, third year, and fourth year, respective notes I have made, and I have gone through them in the internship. In the internship, I have gone through my resources which I have prepared earlier in the 4 years of the MBBS, ma'am. Ma'am, in the final year, I have not gone through the videos, but I have gone through my only the notes and solved the questions and PYQs, ma'am.
All right. So, when did you start watching the videos, like the PrepLadder videos? Did you do it right from the first year, or even if you have not done it, do you think that yes, it should have been done before? What do you think should be the strategy for that?
Yes, ma'am. And as we go through the prof examination, it also has the same syllabus. Ma'am, in KGMU, we have an advantage. We have one theory exam and one is MCQ based. Paper one is theory based and paper two has 200 MCQs in 3 hours, ma'am. So that helps us a lot. So we have an orientation to MCQs, ma'am, how to solve them, how to do it in time, as we started it from the very first year of our MBBS in college professional exams, ma'am. So I started watching videos in the second year. What I recommend to it to go through from the very first year, as it helps in, ma'am. It gives you orientation how to approach the questions and all, ma'am.
I mean, that's really good. So one thing that we are learning from Ayush is that getting great ranks in first attempt is not only about the internship year that you have or the last year that you have for preparation. It starts right from your first year. So it's highly recommended that you start watching the videos, like especially the students who feel that the academics are not very good in our college. Rather than fretting about it, what they can do is start taking help of the PrepLadder main videos when you are in the prof years. And probably when they come to their internship year, when the NEET PG exam comes in, they can do the rapid revision and completely finish off the syllabus, right? So you would agree to that, Ayush?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will recommend one time you should go through in the starting of your internship. One time you should go through your complete notes, which you have prepared. Then you can go for rapid revisions and all. One time you should read that complete notes, ma'am.
True that, and I think
in the very starting.
Yeah, that can be best done with the respective prof years.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So I'm sure, were you always like one who practiced the MCQs also right from the beginning, like the first year of MBBS itself?
Yes, ma'am. As I have told, here we got paper 2 of MCQs, totally MCQ based 200 questions. So we have to practice them.
Right.
So we start from the very first year. As in prof, we are getting the MCQs.
Right. So what is your strategy and your suggestions on making the best use of the Qbanks that we have?
Ma'am, firstly, I'll recommend watch the videos, complete your notes of the respected subject, then go for the question bank first. As it is the topic you are studying and it is arranged in that way, then go for subject wise test. After completing this, you will switch to the next subject, and in that subject, you should solve also the subject you have prepared earlier, ma'am. The custom modules you can prepare by mixing all them, so that you can recall them, and you forgot, you can look and watch them in your notes again.
So exactly, I think every topper strategy spaced revision is the key. तो वैसा नहीं है कि
Yes,
पिछला
ma'am.
सब्जेक्ट हो गया तो आप उसको भूल गए and you are just moving on to the next subject. आपको साथ में पहले के सब सब्जेक्ट्स लेके चलना है.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, how was your strategy on like when you practice the Qbank from PrepLadder? And what was your strategy on the incorrect questions? Did you make the notes of the questions also, or did you just bookmark them, went through them again? How did you use the bookmark feature, or how did you cater to the incorrect questions?
As there are different types of incorrect we make. Some are silly mistakes, ma'am. Some are which are missing in our notes. The thing missing in our notes we have to add in that. Like it's an important or it's a factual base. First we have to differentiate it. If it's a previous year question and you are making it incorrect, then you should search for it. It's in your notes or not, or you are making silly mistake. Ma'am, if you are making silly mistake, then bookmark it and practice again. Then you will remember what mistake you made earlier. If ma'am, it's a question you haven't studied in your notes, it's not in your notes, then then update in your notes. It's
Right. So Ayush seems to be a person who makes a lot of notes, believes in making notes, and
yes, ma'am.
especially in the era where there is no scarcity of the ready-made notes, but he believes that making own notes really helps.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have concised, ma'am, the big subjects, medicine, surgery, and ops. I have concised these three subjects in my handwritten notes, and I have studied them in the last 2 months
So
for
how did you do
revision.
that? Because the major query we receive from the students is medicine कैसे पढ़े ये exam के लिए? Because every student thinks medicine मतलब पूरा Harrison पढ़ना है. So what is your take on that?
Ma'am, first go through the videos, solve the questions of that, and PYQs of that, ma'am. Ma'am, it requires 2 to 3 sorts of revision for a complete medicine, ma'am. It not going in a single sort if you are giving it. Ma'am, for medicine, I have done it. First, I have read through the complete notes. Then I have concised it in the second revision.
So how do you
Itself.
realize what is to be concised, like from the main notes, the main video notes that you have?
Ma'am, like the facts we are forgetting and the point which are important, which have been previous year questions, ma'am, because previous year questions are like previous year topics now. So we
Exactly.
have to focus on that and utilize of that, extract from that what else can be asked, ma'am.
True. So another learning lesson, remember, it's not just the previous year questions when we say that you have to do the related topic in depth. That tells you that this topic per se is important. So referring back to the videos, referring back to the notes and reading that topic in detail is what actually helps.
Yes.
Yes. So in the recent INI-CET,
Yes,
what do you think? How much did the previous year questions and the previous year topics really help?
This was paper was just out of previous year questions as it is. If you ask, ma'am, some
Is it?
topics were there, and ma'am, it was about choosing the correct option, ma'am. Questions were easy. It was like a single line or something. It was 4 lines, but it was question was saying what it is asking. But it was hard to choose the option.
So the options were confusing. So
Yes, ma'am.
how did you develop the skills of ruling out the options or the logical guessing? Like, this is where I feel that this is the right answer. I'm pretty sure you must have done that. Like, you must have not known answer to all the questions, but you definitely
Yes,
did
ma'am.
some intelligent guessing and that got you more corrects and a good rank.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in paper, it was how much you have practiced earlier, ma'am. If you have earlier practiced a lot of questions, then you get a sense of like this will be not the answer as this is out of box, and this can be the answer. From solving the multiple questions, giving GTs help us to learn this, ma'am.
True that. So again, the Qbank practice becomes very important. So since you mentioned about GT, you gave the champions test, right, at PrepLadder.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
How did you fare in that?
Ma'am, in reality, I didn't get that much marks. I got around 400 to 500 rank something. I didn't remember.
Okay.
In
Okay.
GTs were not going well for me. I was making silly mistakes in them very much. I was finishing at average 400, 500 ranks. But I continued my studies and believed in my notes, and
Right?
did
400,
that.
500 is also a pretty good, decent rank. But I think
Yes,
that
ma'am.
gives a hope to the students that you can get the exam results, the real exam results, which are much better than your grand test scores and results. So do not
Yes,
get
ma'am.
motivated by them if you are at a point where you are not getting good scores. Your exam scores can definitely be better than the mock test scores, right? So give more of mock tests, like Ayush said, you would develop a lot of skills. You know, that instinct that this is the answer and this is not the answer, that comes only with giving a lot of mock tests and the champions tests that we have at PrepLadder, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I was stuck between 140 to 155 corrects for around 6 months.
Oh, that's great. I mean, but 142 to 145 is a very good number of questions that you are already getting correct.
Yes, ma'am.
And we can pretty much see
Yes.
that it's not just your internship period, but the entire MBBS curriculum years that you have used for preparation. So, Ayush, if I
Yes,
ask
ma'am.
the question that suppose there are students like, who are not very sincere in their first year, second year of MBBS, but then they realize, no, we have to prepare for PG. So, can they still crack it? And what should be the strategy for them? Whether the rapid revision videos would help them? What would be your take on that?
Yes, ma'am. They can still crack, ma'am. Many of my friends have cracked, ma'am. They have started in internship only. Ma'am, it's about seriousness. How much you get serious in the internship itself, ma'am. Going through the RR videos, rapid revision videos, and solving the MCQs and PYQs and giving timely at the GTs when they are live. It helps a lot, ma'am.
That's great. And you used LRR as well. I believe you were a very ardent user of the LRR that we had conducted before the exam.
Yes, ma'am. I have gone through the LRRs, ma'am, pathology, microbiology, radio, surgery. I have gone through them, ma'am.
Okay, so
Marva sirs, medicine also.
okay, so how much do you think that did it really help in the last minute revision for a student who has not done anything because of some reasons, but then watching the LRRs?
Yes, ma'am. They helped a lot, ma'am. Like Marva sir uh, told the crux of the question. You have to catch that. Like, ma'am, questions I were making mistake. They were easy. But as I watch them, I get the thing like in ECG. What we have to exactly look at the question. Like in previous GTs before LRR, I made mistakes, ma'am, in that. But when I go through the LRR, as they are like question solving, no, ma'am. Marvazel told us in question solving form, ma'am. He told us the crux, like ECG, it's heart block. You have to look before and after the wave missing. You will get it low prolongation. It's type 1, type 2, ma'am. It helped a lot, ma'am.
Yeah,
And ma'am, Preeti ma'am's LRR also helped, ma'am.
great. So, I mean, basically, you get to learn those small areas which we can make mistakes and which we
Yes,
might
ma'am.
never realize when we do the self study. Oh, this is an area where we can make a mistake.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, that's pretty great. So, Ayush, what is your plan and take on how a student should plan their? Let's say there is 1 year that we have the students who will be starting preparation for now for the next, let's say, NEET PG exam. So, or even the INI-CET exam. So they have the next 6 months in their hand. For example, how should they plan their timetable and the revision schedules?
They should stuck to the resources they are using. They should not switch at the last moment, ma'am. They get into a FOMO, like they are using this, they are using this is this. They should not go for that. They should believe in their notes and go through them. If they are using RR or anything, ma'am, their proper notes, anything they are using, they should go with them. They should not switch their sources at the last moment, ma'am. And in the last 6 months, like go with the focus on the all subjects, ma'am. I'll say as minor subjects are help in scoring, ma'am, as most people leave them thinking that दो तीन क्वेश्चन आएंगे क्या होगा इससे, like that, ma'am. But ma'am, like I have made a strategy in the last 18 days. I have to revise all my subjects. I have to go through my notes, what I have written and all. So I before the exam, I have gone through all the notes, and on the exam day I performed.
Um, great. So Ayush, what are you planning to pursue in your PG?
Ma'am, I'm thinking of surgery.
Right. And are you okay with the you are done with the PG entrance, or you're still planning to give up NEET PG and increasing the competition for other students?
I'll go for the exam still because I have filled the form. I should go, I think.
Okay. And I'm sure we will be meeting again for another interview post NEET PG exam. Right?
Yeah, ma'am, I'll try my best for that.
So Ayush, also I would like to know, there would have been days where you felt that no, I don't want to study. Like, you know, every student goes through that lows. How did you combat that?
Yes, ma'am, as I was doing internship on Sundays, I used to give GTs. On the GT, when I was stuck in between the scores, I was not increasing, it was stuck. It demotivates me a lot, like how it will, I am reading more subject and trying to give the GT, but I'm still stuck in between them. But I continued study. I believe one day I will do. It's not the way if I leave, I will worse the situation in that I am at present. So I continued, ma'am.
Okay. So whom would you like to, give credits for your success to?
My parents, because they always motivated me. I always tell them I have stuck. I'm not reaching the mark 170 mark or 160. I'm stuck. They always said, you do it, you do your best, and the result will reflect your hard work.
Absolutely. Very, very, very true. So, Ayush, before we say goodbye and call off for this session where we have got some valuable insights, anything that you would like to share with the students which we have not shared, any tip or any motivational quote that keeps them motivated?
Now I have gone through a quote somewhere. I have read that if you are in the hail, while you stop in the hail, get keep walking, get out of it. अगर आप जहन्नुम में हैं, तो क्यों रुकेंगे? चलते रहिए, उससे बाहर निकलिए. कौन रुकना चाहता है ऐसी जगह पे?
Right, absolutely right. Absolutely right. I mean, that was pretty great connecting with you, Ayush, and learning all the insights for the future aspirants as well. What are the mistakes they should avoid, and how early they should start preparing for their exam, and how they should make the best use of the Qbanks, the mock tests, first the main videos, and then the rapid revision videos. Thank you so much for all those insights, and we wish you all the best for your future endeavors as well. And from the entire team of PrepLadder, we are super proud of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much, ma'am.